Today's verse of the day, Psalm chapter 46, verse 10. Be still and know that I am God. Sometimes you guys gotta let God do what God has to do in your life. Stop trying to take control and do things that God is not intentionally wanting you to do in your life. You gotta let God take control, and execute on things that He has planned for you. And then when the time comes and when He needs you to take action, take action. Don't hesitate, don't overthink. Just take the action and trust in God, because He will provide. He will give you the desired outcome that you want. You just have to be willing to submit to His word and submit to His wisdom and submit to His knowledge and understanding of what it is that He has intended for you to do, so that you can get to that desired outcome. With that being said, let's get to the charts. Good, y'all, let's get right to it, man. Here we have the Monday chart loaded for the SPY, ticker symbol SPY on the 5-minute time frame. As you guys see here, we pretty much had a rejection off of the 686 level, that same level we were kind of retesting and going back and forth with last week. We ended up coming right out the gate and said, hey, we get into it off rip. So we rejected off 686, coming all the way down to 680, which is where we then saw a reversal, and that's actually where I took my position on this particular day. I took a position off the 680 level, which was that retest of the man / the gap fill zone, and it was a pretty picture perfect entry. We literally got at the bottom of this candle, used that as stop loss, and then we rode it all the way back up to 683, taking profits here. And I tried to catch a rejection off of this orb low level, that 682 level, but we were not able to catch a rejection there, unfortunately, simply due to the choppiness that we kept getting back and forth in this position. And after continued chop, we finally ended up breaking above it and then slowly reclaiming that level, but then we rejected again at 683.50, back below that level at 682.50, and then we trailed back higher, closing the day out at 683 essentially. So we took 2 trades on Monday. First trade was good, second trade was not, and we ended up profiting that day. Not a lot due to the second trade, but it was not a bad trade at all. That's Monday. Let's move on to Tuesday. All right, you guys, we have the SPY chart loaded for Tuesday. As you guys see, we gapped down below 680 on Tuesday, and we actually retested 680 after gapping down. Once we got a retest of the 674 level, which is that second gap fill zone, we rejected from failing there. We bounced off that level, going all the way back into the first gap fill zone of 678 to 680, which is where I started to take my first positions. My first trade I looked to take was around 678.5 to get a rejection off that level. We didn't get confirmation, so it was early entry. As you guys see, we ended up failing a little bit later, but it wasn't much, so I didn't take profit. It ended up stopping me out all in all because I didn't get to see the desired move that I wanted. However, we were able to catch the real rejection that I wanted, which was at 680 once we got to that level. And once we hit 680, it literally hit 679.96 and rejected immediately. From there, we rejected from 679.96 all the way back down to 677.5. At that point, we were failing to hold above 678, which where I took another entry back into 678, going down into 677 to 676. And then from there, I took full profits because I had a haircut appointment. So we were able to make our money back on the second 2 trades that we took after we retested that 680 level. Sometimes it's okay to take positions a little bit early. Just don't oversize into that position, because that will cost you from being able to receive the profit from the second move if you have an initial idea of where you want to execute at. Just be mindful of your risk management and your sizing in that first entry, because that can all in all be what makes you go red on the day. Let's move on to Wednesday. Here we have the Wednesday charts loaded up, and currently we're looking at the NVIDIA stock chart, ticker symbol NVDA on the 5-minute time frame. So guys, on Wednesday we took NVIDIA calls off of the orb high. Pretty much what we saw going into this day was a failure to go below this orb high level that we set and it continued to wick off of it numerous times in the 5-minute time frame, and I really liked that it was holding very strong, and it really showed me defined risk in this position. So I went ahead and took positions going into this position here at 9:15, and we saw instant upside all the way up to about 203. Then we saw some rejections come in later in the day, but we were able to get in and out of this play right around 199.3 all the way back up to 201, which where we took full profits in this trade, because then I went to focus on another position in Palantir that ended up failing, and we took a baby L on that, but majority of our gains came from this NVIDIA play. So I was very happy with my execution on NVIDIA, and I like the overall trend, the overall risk, and the structure behind this whole position just looked really good. And if I had my target set higher, I would have fulfilled this whole position and see profits further up if I was looking to target that. But as you guys see that white line right there, that 201.3, that was my level of resistance I had marked out. And us breaking that was not in my game plan, so that's why I didn't take the risk to hold and go further up. However, we were trailing the EMA, which was something I was mindful of, but I was again trying to focus more so on Palantir because I saw more risk to reward in that trade. So it was worth it in my opinion, but all in all, still a good day. We ended the day green, which is something you can never complain about. So with that being said, let's move on to Thursday. All right, you guys, here we have the Thursday chart loaded up, and we're looking at the SPY chart again, taking some SPY 5-minute time frame loaded up. As you guys see here, we had some failures kick in from the 677 level, and sharp projections all the way down from 677 down to 670, 671.7. Once we got failure below 671.7, it initially just initiated failure for the day, and we had a sharp downtrend. And as you guys see here, we start to form a bear flag, which is where I actually ended up taking a position for continuation to the downside. Right around 10:15, we got this rejection candle in here, and I said, okay, cool, I like the risk to reward in this position. So I went ahead and took puts going down to 670, which was my target. We ended up hitting our target instantly, and took full profits around that level. From there, I looked to take a position for calls because we were approaching the level of demand that was critical the last few weeks. So I went ahead and took a position on some calls here around this level, but we got failed out of that position. So very tight risk on that as well. It ended up not working out at that time, but it did work out later. So I wasn't mad about the idea. It was just the timing was off, which sometimes that happens. A lot of times that happens actually. Your timing might just be off in the trade. You might get in too early, and same thing that happened on Tuesday. You know, I got into the position that I was looking to get, was just too early. But luckily, not having too much size in that trade allowed me to still profit on that day once we got the move that I was looking to get. So sometimes you just have to make sure you're sized properly once again. So that was Thursday. Let's move on to Friday. As here we have the SPY chart loaded up on the Friday 5-minute time frame. As you guys see here, we had some more rejections come in to the market right around that 670, 668 level. We got some sharp rejections in on that opening bill all the way back down into 664. We showed some bouncing off 664, however, but it didn't look too convincing. And given that the market was already tight in this range, I just went ahead and took puts off the pre-market low retest after seeing the confirmed wicks numerous times here. We just took the position around 9:15 and used that candle high as a stop loss. We got some rejection there. Then we retested the level again. I took another entry on the same position. Sometimes you do that whenever you have defined risk and good conviction on the trade. Anytime there's a possible trade that you're just confident in, but you don't have a lot of size, feel free to add more size. That's what I ended up doing, and I was able to capitalize on that move. Back down into 664.6, taking most profits here and finishing out the day around this level. So yeah, we closed out the week overall green. It came down to a lot of times just being patient with the plays playing out and letting the market do what it has to do to move and manipulate people out of their positions. It did that to me a few times, so I understand that, and I just had to be focused and poised on the re-entries, because the re-entries is what definitely saved my trading week this week, I would say. Sometimes it's going to be moments like that where the market doesn't show clear direction, but you have an idea or a thesis upon your direction. You might be right, you might be wrong, but when you're right, don't stray away from your ideas because the market isn't showing you a clear sign that is going in that direction. You just have to be confident in your ability to execute and belief of where the market's going to go. And if it goes, it goes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You stop out. You have, bottom line is, you have your risk defined, you'll be okay. So as long as you have defined risk in your trades and you know what you can lose, then there's no reason to be afraid, because you know what you can lose, but your amount that you can win is unlimited. The return on the risk is unlimited. It can really be unlimited if you allow it to be. It just comes down to what your overall goal and intention is with the market. So just food for thought. With that being said, let's take a look at the SPY chart and come up with an idea of what we can look to see going into next week. All right, you guys, so here we have the 4-hour time frame loaded. So last week was a roller coaster. We essentially rejected off the major level of 685, going all the way back down to 681. So going into this week, we've started to form somewhat of a downtrend. Now the question is, do we hold this downtrend? And the answer to that is, it depends. The reason it depends is because we want to see how well we hold the previous demand levels. So levels like 670, 671, 674 would definitely be the pivot. I think that if we can hold below 674, we can see continued downside, just because that's the daily 21 EMA. And you guys see this wick candle here off the 674 level. Also, you see previous convictions off 674 that showed strong rejections back down to 650. So if we can hold below 674, we can possibly see continuation downside below these levels from 674 to 670, from 670 to 667 to 665 zone. And if we fail that zone there, we can look to see even lower. However, if we reclaim 674, we can definitely see continued upside back into 680. And if we can reclaim 680, we can push back into 685 and possibly even 689. The main levels to watch going into this week are going to be 674, 670, 665, and 660. 660 being the major level to bounce off of, and 670 being the major level of failure. We don't know whether or not we'll be holding the 670 level going into Monday, so really just kind of gauge to see where we open at going into Monday. That will be the turning factor on where we go forward in the market. Now, this is just a simple pullback. It's not like a crazy crash or anything like that. These are good buying opportunities as well in the market. If you guys want to take some sides and some positions into trades, now is the time to be doing that. And if you want to see lower, then I just say stay patient and wait for a lower pullback. But this is definitely not a bad spot or area to be buying some positions into your stocks that you like and love. That being said, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Comment below your thoughts on whether or not you think the market's going to go up or down going into next week. Me personally, I think that we can see continued downside, but that rejection, that reclaim candle off 661 was really, really good. And I'm excited to see where the market goes going into next week. I'm ready to play either direction. It doesn't matter to me. Let me know what you guys think down below. If you guys are new, feel free to leave a like and follow, show some love and support. Make sure to click that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that you get notified anytime I upload a video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay safe, continue to believe, and I'll see you then. Peace.